Yo, check this out. Rebels Without a Pause. That's right. My name is Chuck D from Public Enemy, and you are tuned in to the Blackstonian.
Peace. It's a pleasure to be on the phone right now and talking to Chuck D of the legendary group Public Enemy. And right now we know that you are on your way to Boston on this, what I consider to be a historic tour, this Hip Hop Gods tour, and you'll be touching down in Boston on December 2nd. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what, gave you the idea to do this tour, and tell us about what we can expect to see when you come here in Boston.
Well, number one, I was inspired in the 70s by classic rock and how they was able to come up with a difference between the Beatles and Chuck Berry and the guys that were coming out in rock music in the middle of the 70s, like the Bostons and the Framptons and all that. And they created something out of what was considered, I guess, like overlooked because it wasn't mainstream anymore, and they created a whole phenomenon out of that. And I was like, the same thing could be done with hip-hop, but I didn't like the way that they was treated by promoters or venues and journalists and the business at hand, calling it old school. And even when they had gatherings or concerts with artists they considered old school, they would get some bald-ass stage and just throw people out there and do old cuts. And people would reminisce, and then they go home and be like, that's it. So when it never toured, it was just one of these, it would actually show up in a particular city and do its thing, and then it would be over with. And I said, well, my crew, man, it's like, man, we leave the country, man. We ain't gonna be part of that. So, we do current concerts. We're a current group, whether they like it or not. We're relevant to the earth. So I wanted to see if a certain way of looking at hip-hop touring and hip-hop artists with a 15-year tenure could be actually looked upon in a different category, almost like golf. Like when you see Jack Nicklaus. I mean, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, they still golfing right now, but they said they don't get down with Tiger Woods. They got their own thing. They call it the senior circuit. I said, damn. And I always thought that, that would be clever for hip-hop, so that's what we built Hip-Hop Gods. And anytime you call a black person God, it make people just wake them up. Oh, excuse me. Oh, wow. But hiphopgods.com is happens to be the website that actually covers not just the past, but the present and the future of hip-hop artists, and especially, and the things that they do now. I mean, Wise Intelligence from Poor Righteous Teachers, man, he's been involved in the digital era for like the last 13 years, and he's been rolling with a lot of things that we've been involved with ever since, we came with Rap Station in 2001. Wise was there. So I have been in dialogue with a lot of these artists over the year, and I said, you know what, we can make this thing happen, but the hip-hop touring has to be scaled to a reality. And when these big top-heavy artists came in and was uniting themselves with these major record companies or these major radio stations where they be having these radio gigs that have $135 tickets, and at the end of their songs that they bring out about 15-year-old maybe Catholic school girls and whatnot to the concert. Then after every one of the songs, you hear explosion, and I'm like, wow, this is something else. I'm not saying it ain't hip hop, but it can't be the thing that's the definition of what hip-hop is, and no offense to anybody that goes and digs it for what it is, but the artist got to define what it is, not a company. So that was our whole premise behind Hip-Hop Guys, that we get into the balance and the definition of hip-hop to its truest, purest, balanced form and diverse form. And that's what started that. And so in my conversation and dialogue with many of these artists over the years, after they were like, I want to just get on a PE tour, I was like, well, this is the best platform and vehicle I think that could be done, where it's just not on us, but other artists can get together as long as they just humble themselves, scale themselves to reality, and make it happen. I mean, we're going to we're going across the United States from D.C., where we started off 2 nights ago, and ended it up in Los Angeles. And they would say it was impossible. We're doing this on 2 buses. We got 33 people. 33 people came in from 16 different cities and areas from around the country. And it's only going to happen because of the unity aspect, and that's what hip-hop had in its beginnings. And in the 80s, it had a unity because people were kind of like, you know, thrust together, to roll together, to perform together. Yes, they was in competition, but it was like one of those things, like it's a friendly rivalry, like Public Enemy and Eric B. and Rakim. You know, we had competition with each other, and we had rivalry with each other, but at the end of the day, it was like, you know, that whole thing created diamonds and diamond concerts and diamond performances. So those days couldn't be bought. So those are some of the ideas behind the reality of making hip-hop guys. And trust me, pioneering this, it has not been easy. The art and the artists and all the professionals we have on tour, they've made it easy. The powers that be, the sponsors that dropped out, the push button area of promoters that think that maybe you could push the button and to your email constituency and call it promotion. You know, we've been putting a supercharge and a hot fire behind that. So, but these are some of the things that happened, you know. I mean, Woodstock, when it came about, was really seriously an artistic win. It was an artistic achievement. Business-wise, it was a disaster. But in the long run, it turned out to be something that happened to be the benchmark of all festivals. And we feel the same with hip-hop guys. And we felt that we scaled it enough where, at the end of the day, people look back on it and said that was a great 2 weeks of camp.
Right. Okay, so December 2nd, you're going to be here in Boston at the Royale. And as usual, when you're in town, you know, we expect, you know, a good turnout. And particularly, now, who is exactly coming here to Boston on December 2nd?
December 2nd, we got Awesome Dre from Detroit, who also created records like Can't Hold Me Back and really one of the legendary Detroit MCs. And I'm talking before Eminem, and I'm talking, you know, around the time with, you know, before Royce the 5'9", and, you know, he's around the time that Esham also evolved out of Detroit. Then we got Son of Berserk and No Self-Control, who's from Strong Island, who actually who epitomized the hip-hop god type of passage, the fact that they recorded in 1991 and their next album, they 2010. So a lot of that is happening. Then we got Wise Intelligence, of Poor Righteous Teachers co-founder. And he just has one of the most incredible stage shows ever. And then we have leader of the new school, Dinko D. Charlie Brown was originally on the show, and he just, you know, for some reason, felt that, you know, he got nervous. But Dinko D is there stepping up for leader of the new school. And then Moni Love, who we've known ever since she was a teenager, who actually has a show on Sirius XM called Ladies First. And she is really representing well on the tour as well. And X-Clan, Eden's Word of the Brother, and also Brother Jay, Grand Verbalizer, he has project coming out, and also he has an X-Clan project coming out. One of the most sincere, great brothers of all this genre is concerned. And Davey DMX, who plays bass with us, as well as us, you know, doing out there at the Ankles Public Enemy. And Schoolie D, who's a pioneer in his own way, and a dude that keeps me laughing all the time.
All right, that's what's up. Well, we look forward to it, and I'm assuming that when you do the lineup of, you know, the artists that are going to perform here in Boston, I'm assuming you're going to put Moni in the middle?
See, that's been said more than once.
Well,
And,
thank you, Chuck D, for checking in with us. Boston, we look forward to seeing you, and we will give you that beautiful greeting when you get here. And my peace to all y'all, and everybody travel safe, and we will see you here Sunday, December 2nd at the Royale Theater for Public Enemy, X-Clan, Wise Intelligence, Schoolie D, Moni Love, Awesome Dre. Man, who I miss, man? You got the whole mega lineup.
Leaders of the New School.
Leaders of the New School, Dinko D.
Yep, and I tell you, man, the crowds with DC and also New York, man, they were just phenomenal, man. And it's one of those things. Is like a lot of times people like look at advanced ticket sales, but traditionally when you talk about hip hop, it's always been the walk up thing. But you also have to, get out there and see people and talk to people and boom, boom, boom. And the online thing is great, but it's an access, it's a supplementary thing. So the thing is that, it's always going to probably be a walk-up scenario when you're talking anybody that remembers how hip-hop used to be. Like, even if you got some cat, I'm a lawyer and I make $160,000 a year, but I make, I like hip-hop. He ain't even buying no advance ticket. He's going to go and say, I'm going to go there and I'm going to buy my ticket and go in. So hip-hop just has its own characteristics, its own different dynamics. It makes it different than other genres that got people like Rush and, Rolling Stones selling out advance tickets before they get there. So this is hip-hop. So it's a classic thing, and we're glad that we're pioneering it, instituting it, and enhancing it.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it, man. So we see you here in Boston. Peace, and thank you for giving us some time and whatnot. Peace. Chuck D from Public Enemy.
Peace. Yo, check this out. Rebels Without a Pause. That's right. My name is Chuck D from Public Enemy, and you are tuned in to the Blackstonian